What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new transfer news video. We will talk about Ederson, the Atalanta midfielder, because some newspapers are reporting that Liverpool want to sign him either in January, or if Atalanta want a crazy price for him in January, then next summer. So we will have all the details and we will look at Ederson's scouting report and what his numbers are like this season. We have been linked with him last summer as well, where Liverpool wanted to sign a defensive midfielder. We are still in the market for a defensive midfielder as well, and we will take a look at the FA Cup action yesterday and the FA Cup draw as well. The Arsenal-Man United game was an absolute thriller and there were so many talking points, so I will touch on that game as well, and we will have some injury updates from Arne in the second part of this video. So if you enjoy these Liverpool update videos, leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and turn on the bell notifications so you never miss all the latest updates around the Premier League, Liverpool FC, and let's drive straight in. So the Italian news outlet has claimed that Ederson is wanted by Liverpool, but Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and even Manchester United are also interested in the Brazilian international player. He's one of Atalanta's top players and he's entering the prime years of his career. He's only 25 years old, so on a 5-year contract it makes a lot of sense for Liverpool to sign him, and Atalanta want at least 60 million euros for him, which was the same, like Zubimendi's release clause is the same as well, so Liverpool can easily afford to spend that. We made like 30 million pounds profit in the summer transfer window, so that money is still sitting there waiting to be invested into the squad, and I think the owners, FSG, absolutely need to back Arne because Liverpool are in such a unique opportunity, because Arsenal are faltering, Man City as well, Man United and Tottenham are in absolute crisis mode in the Premier League at least. So this is a very unique opportunity for Liverpool to win the title, and one more signing could definitely help Liverpool being pushed over the line. Man United are of course interested in Ederson, but it's hard to see Ederson picking them over Liverpool with the way Man United have been going. They are in the bottom half of the table. Yes, they knocked Arsenal out on penalties, but it was against all odds, and I would be very surprised if Man United end up winning the FA Cup again like last season. That was a miracle that they beat Man City in the final. Man United are having an absolutely horrendous campaign in the league and in Europe as well. They are not even challenging in European places in the Premier League table, but Liverpool could end up being Premier League champions, and we are still in all 4 competitions. Ederson is used to competing for a place in the Serie A top 4 and playing in the Champions League with Atalanta. Atalanta have been in the Champions League for a few seasons now, but a move to Liverpool would be a step up for him, and he said it previously in interviews that he's ready to take the next step in his career. He's ready to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world. If he joins Liverpool, he could compete for the Premier League title, for the Champions League. At Man United, it could be playing for a team who are struggling to get out of mid-table and who will struggle to challenge for the Premier League title for a long time, maybe the next 3 or 4 years. And that will be the majority of Ederson's career. Ederson is of course a regular in the Atalanta starting lineup, and Atalanta, as most Serie A clubs, are not cash rich, so any big offer that comes in for any of their players, they will think long and hard about accepting it, because even though Atalanta are in the Champions League regularly, in the Serie A the revenues are not great, so Atalanta's one of the main revenue sources is selling players, moving on their stars and reinvesting that money into their squad. Atalanta are only a few points behind league leaders Napoli. They have a game in hand, I think, as well, and Inter are ahead of Atalanta in the table with having played one less game than Atalanta as well. So at the moment Atalanta are 3rd, and probably that's where they will finish 3rd or 4th place. I don't see them winning the Serie A title. Ederson has 2 goals and 1 assist in 19 Serie A appearances, but his main position is defensive midfielder. Man City are in desperate need of a defensive midfielder, but they are looking at other players. Man United are very keen, but sources have indicated that Liverpool have a big interest in Ederson, even though Arne Slot's side side are at the moment less actively engaged. They have asked for updates on Ederson's availability. So if Ederson becomes available on the market, if Atalanta is willing to entertain any offers, then Liverpool want to be there bidding for Ederson. And Ederson is very excited about the prospect of playing in the Premier League, but Atalanta will only evaluate offers for him probably in the summer, because in January, with them trying to win their first Serie A title, I don't see them selling one of their key players, one of their most important stars, and they would entertain an offer of 60 million euros in the summer. Right now in January it would be probably a lot higher than that, because Atalanta consider Ederson as one of their most important players, and they want to keep their best possible squad together to be successful in the Serie A, to go far in the Champions League as well, because that's a big revenue source. Atalanta are only 2 points off the playoff spots in the league stage table of the Champions League. And here are his stats. He took 17 shots in 18 appearances, so as you can see, he's not shooting regularly, but still scoring 2 goals and one assist is pretty decent for a defensive midfielder. He made 19 tackles, got 20 interceptions, 18 progressive carries. His pass completion rate is almost 87%, which is really, really good. Last season he won 1.1 aerial duels per 90 minutes, and his tackling was top 30%, 2.3 tackles, 1.4 interceptions, which is really, really high, top 15% last season. And Ederson also made 1.4 blocks per 90 minutes. He won the ball 5 times per game, establishing himself as one of Serie A's best defensive midfielders. And what I love about his playing style is he's a very dynamic player. He doesn't just win the ball back and then pass it. He wins the ball back and then he can drive with the ball. Of course, we already have Gravenberch, McAllister, Curtis Jones, even Vaterendo, who can play in the defensive midfield position. But Endo is not a long-term Arne Slot type of player, so Endo's replacement is still needed to be signed, and Ederson would be a perfect player for that profile. He's a lot more dynamic, 5 years younger than Endo as well. Here are his current scouting reports. So that was last season's scouting report that I showed you. Here is the current scouting report, and as you can see, in terms of progressive passes, he's in the top 22% in terms of non-penalty expected goals and non-penalty goals. He's in the top 35%, which is pretty decent for defensive midfielders. His passes attempted and his pass completion rate went down from last season as well. He's in the top 40%. So he's not like a standout player in his position in Europe in the top 5 leagues, as you can see. So maybe 50 million pounds is a little bit too high of a price for him. He's not a world-class player, just a very, very good player. So the big question is, should Liverpool really spend 50 million pounds or 60 million euros on a player who would come in as a squad player? He's not better than Gravenberch, he's not better than McAllister. He's probably on par with Curtis Jones, he's better than Endo in some aspects. I think if Liverpool were to sign him, it should be for lower than 50 million. That's my opinion looking at his scouting report. But of course, Liverpool have many experts in the scouting department, so they will ultimately decide how much Ederson is worth. I just wanted to report this news to you guys. Let's talk about some young players, because Liverpool have recalled Kyle Gordon. At Norwich City, he has struggled to get into the team. He struggled for playing time. He only started 1 league match for Norwich, and he was even an unused substitute in their FA Cup dropping. They got smashed 4-0 at home against Brighton. So Gordon will return to Liverpool, and he will try to go out on loan again. He got a big injury in his Liverpool career, which hindered his progress, because when he made his debut, he became the 2nd youngest goal scorer in Liverpool's history when he scored against Shrewsbury Town in the FA Cup in 2022 in January at the age of 17. But then he got a big injury, so now he's struggling to get the regular game time at Norwich, which means that now he should go to a team where he plays regularly. That's the most important thing. He's another player that looks like he will be sold in 1, 2 or 3 years. He just needs to get some experience under his belt, and Liverpool can sell him on. Calvin Ramsey also was returned from his loan spell, and he's now joining Kilmarnock, small Scottish club on loan for the rest of the season. And I also wanted to talk about Federico Chiesa, because there has been some links and reports linking Chiesa to a move back to Syria, either on loan or on a permanent transfer. But Italian journalist Di Marzio said that, and yes, that Napoli are looking at Chiesa. Chiesa wishes to stay at Liverpool for at least the remainder of this campaign, and he wants to see how this whole season pans out. Liverpool have no plans to allow him to leave. Chiesa is very happy at Liverpool. He just was very unlucky with some injuries, illness, and also he needed time to get up to speed with the pace and intensity of the Premier League. And even Fabrizio Romano said that the priority for Liverpool is to the priority for Chiesa is to remain at Liverpool. That was confirmed by his agent as well, and he seems very happy at Liverpool. He was absolutely beaming with a smile after scoring his first goal for Liverpool. And Diogo Jota has had his own injury issues, but Liverpool's other 4 senior forwards have each played more than 1,300 minutes this season. So we need Chiesa and Jota to play to be able to rotate the other forwards that already have a lot of minutes in their legs. And now let's talk about the FA Cup, because it was an absolutely thrilling game. Arsenal against Manchester United. I watched an extended highlights video because I was out with my wife hiking, and we had a great time. But and also I played football on a Sunday morning as well, five-a-side football. Absolutely loved it. And Liverpool got Plymouth in the FA Cup draw, which is a brilliant draw. But the way Man United knocked Arsenal out was absolutely embarrassing. Arsenal played more than 60 minutes with 1 man more than Man United. Man United got a man sent off, and also Arsenal missed a penalty after Kai Havertz dived like an absolute coward, and justice was served because Man United's second choice goalkeeper Bayindir made a miraculous save on Odegaard's penalty, and then he saved Kai Havertz's penalty in the penalty shootout as well, and all the other players scored. So Arsenal are out of the FA Cup at the 3rd round stage. I think again, like Liverpool knocked Arsenal out when we went on to win the FA Cup, or was it last season that Liverpool knocked Arsenal out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup at the Emirates with a rotated team? I think that was last season. That was brilliant. So Arsenal, I think, went out twice in a row in the 3rd round, and our Arsenal are in real danger of winning absolutely nothing again. Another season with no trophies under Mikel Arteta, and this is now 6th season of Arteta. So the Arteta project is really struggling, and I don't understand why Arsenal are not signing a Benjamin Šeško type of striker. I think if Arsenal bid enough, Leipzig would let him go. They just need a clinical finisher. Gabriel Jesus is not it. Kai Havertz is not number 9. Bukayo Saka, Arsenal's main goal threat, is out injured at the moment, and the other forwards are really buckling under the pressure of scoring goals. Leandro Trossard is not world class either, so there is nobody at the moment who can score goals for Arsenal regularly. And now Gabriel Jesus got injured, and it is a suspected ACL tear, so that Gabriel Jesus' season could be over. With Saka injured, Gabriel Jesus injured, who will score enough goals for Arsenal to actually keep them in the title race? Of course, Liverpool need to focus on themselves, and we need to try and get 7 points from the next 3 away games in the Premier League. We have Nottingham Forest, Brentford, Bournemouth away from home. In our next 3 away games, we have Ipswich at home, sandwiched in between. But these 3 games are absolutely crucial. If Liverpool could get 7 points from these 3 games, I think we take a big step towards winning the title. So far, Liverpool have been brilliant away from home, unbeaten, 7 wins, 2 draws from 9 games. But Liverpool need to be at their absolute best to get a victory against Nottingham Forest. And we need to score first, because Nottingham Forest struggle when teams score first against them. But Plymouth away is not going to be easy, because they beat Brentford away from home. Brentford heavily rotated, which was a bit silly, because Brentford have a very good squad and they could have gone a long way in the FA Cup, but because they had a few players ill, Brentford just wanted to get this game out of the way and concentrate on the Premier League. But yeah, Plymouth away is going to be tough, and that comes 2 or 3 days after the second leg of the semi-final of the League Cup against Tottenham, and we have Everton away after the Plymouth game. So I expect Arne to rotate heavily against Plymouth, and hopefully the Liverpool second team will still be good enough to win there. And yeah, Liverpool need to be very professional, very on it, because this will be Plymouth's cup final at home against Liverpool in the FA Cup. They have nothing to lose, everything to gain. The huge favourites are Liverpool, so Plymouth will be definitely up for it. Hopefully Jadon Danns will be having an absolute masterclass again. And it's interesting that Jadon Danns almost went to Plymouth in the summer before he got injured. Also, their new manager bounced. They just sacked Wayne Rooney. That should be over by then as well, because we almost have 1 month before we play Plymouth in the FA Cup. And I also wanted to touch on the Spanish Super Cup final. We watched the game with my wife, who is a huge Barcelona fan. And Barcelona made history. They are the first team to score back-to-back 4 or more goals against Real Madrid in 2 consecutive games in all competitions. And they smashed Real Madrid 5-2, and it could have been worse if Barcelona didn't have their goalkeeper Szczesny sent off, because they were already 5-1 up at that point. So Real Madrid actually just made the scoreline more respectable with the 5-2, but Barcelona won the Spanish football's first major trophy, this season. And Barcelona really should have done much better in the league. They lost so many points to really small teams like Leganes and Las Palmas, which is absolutely crazy, because Barcelona can smash Real Madrid 4-0 and 5-2 and yet lose to Leganes or Las Palmas at home. But that's the beauty of football, and you never know with these Spanish teams. Sometimes they can be consistent, and Barcelona and Real Madrid are not as strong as they once were. Like Real Madrid last season were much stronger. Even with Mbappe, Real Madrid are struggling, especially against teams who keep possession very well against them. So it was a great day, a joyful day to watch football. We got home just in time to watch this game with my wife, and it was fantastic to see her celebrating the Barcelona goals. It was brilliant to see. And it was a very, very enjoyable game. There were some spectacular goals. Yamal's goal, the cross, I think, from Koundé to Rafinha, and the header it was a long diagonal ball from the air. Rafinha heads it down. It was a glorious goal, and even Balde's goal on the counter-attack was epic. So I really enjoyed that game. I just wanted to mention it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.